But dude,
But
Invincible's really good.
okay, I guess I gotta check out Invincible. Hello and welcome. My name is Alex Gonzalez, and with me today is my good old friend, J.E.
Hey, that's me.
And please remember that we are not game devs. How are you doing today, Jay?
I'm doing okay. I've been out and about all day today and yesterday, so a little tired, but you know how it is.
Busy day.
Exactly.
Busy day for Jay. But those are not the plans we are talking about today. Today, we are creating something new. Every week, we are not game devs. We'll create a new exciting video game that we have always wanted to play, but not to... We don't have any knowledge or know-how or the linguistic skills to create the wonderful experience that is video games. And today is my turn to present We Are Not Game Devs 150th IP. And we're going to begin with this basic concept. This is what's going to be. I want to create a game where you're a boy or girl or whatever you want to be. Really? It doesn't matter to me. But you go off in the woods with your dog. And you live in suburbia, you go off in the woods, you go on a hike, and your family says to be back by sundown. Something happens, you get separated from your dog, and then you play as both the character. And honestly, I was thinking maybe not even just the character, you just play as the dog as the character gets hurt, and you have to guide your way back as a dog going from the woods and the wild area to home. And you have to use abilities such as barking, growling, scratching, digging, scent to maneuver around, avoid wild animals, fight where you can, scavenge, and then make it back. What do you think?
Okay, first off, so we're playing The Incredible Journey, the video game, is what we're making.
Oh, is that Disney movie, like Homeward Bound?
Yeah, Homeward Bound. Incredible Journey, Homeward Bound.
Yeah, I guess that's an Alex Ass movie. And
you haven't seen it?
Ass game. I have. I love Homeward Bound.
Okay, I was like, that's definitely a movie I thought you would have seen. It's a classic.
Oh yeah, that's great.
Both the '60s and the more contemporary modern one. Okay. First thing, are you going to meet? I like the idea of playing as a dog the entire time, but are you gonna save your human companion like halfway through the game? Is that the idea? The first objective is find your human companion. Second objective is bring him home to safety.
To protect them. Yeah, but to protect them through the night. So maybe you help create a shelter for them. They can't walk. And then you can do something where because they can't walk, you have to go a little bit slower and scavenge for them food, as well as maybe fight off predators and stuff like that, where it's a game that happens. I don't imagine it to be super long, but I want there to be phases. And with that, different set pieces for camps. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So maybe one is you're in a cave, and another you build like a light shelter, and another you're by a lake until eventually you make it closer to home.
Yeah. So do you think it's going to be kind of like there's going to be a night or day night cycle and then you have to like survive through the night? Because I was thinking it would be more like Last of Us, where it's a scripted thing. You're going from camp to camp.
Exactly like that.
Maybe one of the nights he gets attacked and then you got to protect him or whatever.
Yeah, it would be more of the once you settle in for the night, you curl up next to them and then provide them warmth as the night ends, and then it kind of scripts from there. Correct. I want it to be scripted.
Cool.
And there would be, I imagine there would be one scene where an animal comes at night and tries to challenge you. Maybe the fire goes out, and you have to you have to bark and keep predators off while stoking the fire again.
Yeah.
As an animal. And what do you think about this? This is going to be a creative decision. The narrator will be the dog's inner voice.
Do you want the narrator to sound smart and like how you and I were to talk as if it was a Disney movie, or do you want it to be realistic and they're just kind of not dumb, but just kind of one
No, I
track
want it to
mind,
be
bacon, bacon, bacon commercial type of dog.
no. Gotta save my human, gotta save my human. Bird! Gotta save my human, gotta save my human.
Or like a mix
No.
of the two, where it's more like Wilfred Elijah Wood, where Jason Gann is dog-like in certain ways, but for the most part, he's a coherent human being.
I would prefer it if it was more like The Incredible Journey, where I didn't know I was drawing so much inspiration, where depending on the dog, let's say let's have like 3 dog breeds, so we have 3 voice actors. So you can have like,
How about instead it's
So-
just 2 and we just kind of make it male female,
okay, so we have 2 dog models, perfect,
Yeah.
male female, and we're
and that's just how you choose your narrator.
and yeah, it'll be, and then those will be the narrators, and they'll be more like they come into the fold of a dog. So if it's more of a majestic dog that stands, that has a very good posture, it's like they'll be more seriously, I need to go out there and I need to scavenge. He's relying on me, just like I relied on him when I was a pup. Goes out.
How do you like the idea of making this game about 4 hours long, and then the first time you just play as the male like stoic type of dog, and then the second time after you beat the game, it's like you unlocked a new dog, and then it's like another playthrough with a different type of dog, and it has a completely different personality, complete different voice lines.
It would be cool
But
if
same
it was
story.
better at things too. Maybe different ways to, like a better nose or better eyes.
Yeah. Maybe it's a younger dog or something, and it changed, like, not drastically, but it's like either like not a filter, but like a different way to.
So if it's a female dog, they'll be faster, have more endurance, but not as strong, and like those are the trade-offs that we'll see.
Yeah, sure.
I like it. All right. So besides, what other abilities could you think of? Because I mean, I was thinking it could be like an action game where we have these different moments where you can climb, you can dig, bark, bite.
I think
follow
while you're
trails with
exploring, like,
noses, scent trails.
yeah, scent trails is good. I think also, like, how like most games do scent trails. I think that's a good idea. In a similar vein, I think also in detective mode, and we can make it part of the gameplay as well, is you could hear things coming from really far away, and like if you hear like a bear or like wolves or coyotes or whatever the environment is like in this area and what animals are out there, you could hear them from like super far, so you could steer away from them or eventually steer your human away from that direction. My one big concern about this game is you want to go from these like pretty big locales, like the rock outcropping, to like a lake or whatever, but this kid only left with his dog and was supposed to be back by sundown. He couldn't have gone very far. Do you want to make it more like something crazy where your family
let's
was
do it like this, then.
camping or something?
Home Alone out in the woods. Yeah. We'll do a Home Alone style game where they not only forget their kid, but they forget their animal too, out in the woods. The reason I laugh is that would be the most peaceful car ride ever. We're gonna have to make it where there's other kids and other animals. Oh, that's how we add in the female dog. We did it, Jay. A different kid and a different dog get left behind on another vacation.
No, how about
like Home Alone 2.
It's just a whole family. There's a brother and sister, like children, and they each have their own dog, kind of like a Homeward Bound situation where all the kids have their like dog that is like kind of like theirs. And then when you unlock the new character, it's the other kid and their dog who gets left behind. But I don't want to say they get left behind, because that's pretty assholey of the parents. What
should we say? Forgotten?
Not even forgotten. Let's say the kids take their dog out for like a walk somewhere. The parents are like, make sure you don't wander off too far, Johnny. And then Johnny keeps going. He's like, come on, Spot. and then they like run over Johnny and Spot, and Johnny falls off like a cliff or something, and then like Spot runs after him, and somewhere like maybe Johnny falls into a river, goes down the river, Spot's trying to help him, and then they get separated, and that's where the game starts. You know what I mean? So it's not like the family's fault. The kid wandered off too far and did something dangerous and then went off the path.
Okay, that works. That creates like a kind of a survival situation. I like it.
Also, I think it would make it so the kid gets far down the river, so they're further away from camp, don't really know how to get back, and he's hurt. And so when you do find the kid, I want to say like 30-40% into the game, he's kind of hurt, so you have to like slowly travel back.
And that'll make it fun because I want to make it where it's like you said, 40, 50, 60% of the game is without the kid. Or then I want it to be easy to walk and fun to play with it. I always find it's the least enjoyable time for me when I'm like, oh, great. These people don't walk at the same walk speed I do. So I have to walk, stop.
Yeah. Or I know you haven't played this game, and I feel like you should just experience the story and all that, but Life is Strange 2, and I don't mean to make it sound this way, but you play as older brother, little brother, and sometimes the little brother feels like he's this annoying pet that just runs around using his superpowers or whatever, and you got to rein him in as the older brother or whatever. But they solve that issue by, while you're walking with the kid who's like tired and wants to rest and whatever. This is just episode 1, by the way. You like can find collectibles to have voice lines with your little brother and stuff as you're walking down a linear path. And maybe what we could do is, while you're walking and your kid's like limping along trying to keep up with the dog finds like a stick, and you have an option to like pick up the stick and bring it over to your master, and then he'll like throw the stick, and then you'll play fetch for like 10 seconds. You know what I mean?
All right, yeah, I like that. What do you think this game looks like? What kind of graphics are we seeing?
I'm thinking like a nice art style that is kind of realistic, like a Life is Strange or any of the Telltale games, really. Just kind of like a cartoony but grounded and lifelike look to it.
And let's see, we'll make this game centered around an elevated part of the world where there's some, there's a decent amount of trees and bushes, and it's pretty green.
Pacific Northwest.
So it could be anywhere. Yeah, Pacific Northwest, the PNW.
Maybe there's a crazy lumberjack dude that you have to fend off against.
We're going on all the cliches. He has an axe.
Yeah.
He has a beanie on. He has flannel. No, what I was thinking about this.
Flannel, giant beard, beanie.
What if you stumble upon an encampment with older, like people who just live in the forest? I'm not going to say what they are, who they are, what they do. They're just going to be strange folks who decide that they'd rather live in the forest.
I mean, it's your game, man.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of what danger, like how a dog would view it. Because it would be something where I don't even want them to be dangerous necessarily. Like maybe there'll be other campers, but you don't know any better. So you stay away from them. Like maybe they have a strange smell.
Oh, I like that. Maybe we could make the game kind of like a little nightmare situation. Not quite as scary, obviously, because I want it to be a little bit better. But maybe have it so certain things look unfamiliar for the dog. So it looks strange in your viewpoint as playing as the dog. But maybe after you interact with these random dudes in the forest and your dog walks off, the camera like pans back and turns to the group that was like weird, crazy people in the woods. And it turns out that they were like yeah, like lumberjacks or something, like just regular ass lumberjack dudes. But to the dogs, it looked like these crazy crazy burly people like chopping down trees with these really
And
big.
like breaking them and causing, and there's a bunch of animals running away. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah. And it to the dog, it looks super scary and loud and like insane. But then, yeah, the camera pans over and it's just a couple lumberjacks doing their job.
I like it. What kind of music are we listening to here?
I think hopeful, inspirational, like orchestraic music, you know?
So like lots of horns.
I would
Stuff
say
of that
horns. I would
nature.
say like strings
But
and
strings, but there's always that like, you know what I'm talking about? Like that kind of horn sound where it's like it swells.
yeah. But instead of that,
Bum bum
I would
bum
think there'd be
bum.
like more like guitar or like strings and guitar and stuff like that to make it give it more like campy, outdoorsy feel to it.
We do like our strings here at We Are Not Game Devs. So pricing. How much should we set the price for this game?
$20.
$20 it is. A nice fast little game that people can play, a little vignette, have a good time. All right, Jay. Get your timer ready because we're going to name this game.
Okay, give me one moment and go. Homeward Bound.
A rough journey.
A rough journey.
Vacation on Paws. Huh? Paws. Huh?
Off the path. Back on track.
A man's best friend? No.
Good boy.
Because it could be a good girl though. So.
Well, I mean, you don't know that until after you beat the game. You know, that's like the secret at the end.
Yeah.
And then maybe the splash screen will say "good girl" at the end, but it's advertised as "good boy."
Or what if we just name it after the dog? Like we call the game just Buddy.
But the girl's dog's gonna have a different name too, unless you're cool with.
And because it's my game, the dog dies at the end. No, just
the kid dies at the
Alex,
end.
You can write emotion into the game without having to kill somebody off. What do we name this thing?
How about just good dog?
Good dog. That's so uninspired. Imagine like everything that happens on this journey, and the name is Good Dog. So, anyways, I'm playing Good Dog. You check out Good Dog. You good, dog? This one's a toughie. This one's a toughie. A man's best friend. I go back to that. Best friend. Fido's Fellowship. That's a joke one.
Bark.
Should we call it Bark Bark? People think it's a funny game. I'm trying to come up with a pun and I can't. I'm all out of puns. Life on pause. Hey.
Oh my god.
I did it.
Life on pause. Sure. At 4 minutes, 9 seconds.
I wore you down with Life on Pause, the heroic journey where you must help your owner survive out in the woods after a perilous hike leaves them injured. You must find your owner, defend them, make sure they're okay, and travel through the woods as a dog, using your dog-like instincts and powers such as super smell, hearing, and using your claws to dig in Life on Pause. Well, Jay, seems like we got a game here. Would this be a game that you would like, and is it fun? Would you play this?
Yeah, I would give it a shot, especially if it's super short. Like if the platinum is like a 10-hour platinum, yeah, why not?
I'd play the shit out of this, and everybody knows it.
I mean, true that.
Especially if they chose the right breed.
I mean, we made the game.
Right.
It's gonna be your dog.
There we go. We did it. We did it.
Should we have a hard mode where we, at the very end, we play it 3 times and there's a secret character and it's just like a chihuahua and you play as this tiny little dog?
No, that's when we add your dog. Yeah. We add Ellie.
Yeah. And then who's the owner of the mom?
How would you feel? I know we don't go on too many tangents. How would you feel if it was all up to Ellie?
No, there's no way. The fuck is she gonna do?
Like your leg's broken, you're like, first you need firewood, then you must get us fish from the river.
Yeah, no, there's no way my dog could do it.
And don't worry about it. My dog would bring me back a bunch of mangled birds, and I'm like, we can't survive. We can't survive on these birds. All right. What game studio do you think could produce Life on Pause the best?
Let's just give it to New Telltale. They need a new IP. Maybe this is the one.
Maybe this is the one that's going to be the breakout for him. Who can I think of to do this? Hold on, let me see. Because what I'm looking for is the developers House, who did Untitled Goose Game. Except I'm a little worried because I don't think there was a whole lot of voice acting in that game.
Untitled Goose Game? I don't think there was any. I didn't play that game.
Yeah. But you wouldn't need too much.
Yeah. Obviously, Deck 9 and or Don't Nod, either or, could do very well. They're both Life is Strange developers. Deck 9 did Before the Storm, and they're doing Life is Strange 3. And Don't Nod obviously did 1 and 2. I was also thinking... Shoot, I had someone else. Do you have anyone else?
Nope.
I had a good one. I forgot what it was, though. It was good. Oh. I remember. Give me a moment. I have to find the actual developer. I can't think of the developer's name right now. Supergiant Games.
That lends a whole lot of credibility. I really like Supergiant. They don't really miss. Not saying that any of the other developers don't, but
yeah,
you know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm. No, definitely. I'm thinking specifically the inspiration where it comes from is from Bastion, and them being able to put in a narrator.
It would be so good. It would be so much better. I would be like, I really think Life on Pause is going to be good now because their narration skills are out of this world.
Yeah.
And with that, our 150th IP has gone gold. I don't know if do you hear that?
I hear it. Yeah. What is it?
Okay,
Sirens?
there was a screeching on the end where I was waiting for a crash. It lasted for like 5 seconds, and I was like, "Who is he gonna hit?"
Oh, that was a screech?
Yeah, that was a car losing control.
Oh, okay. Sounded like police sirens on my end.
We hope you look forward to this experience that will probably never release. You can write to @poundgames@gmail.com if you have anything to patch into the game we created today. Also, give us feedback. We're still learning how to make the show better, and your feedback really helps. We have a Patreon. If you'd like to back our ideas, please head on over to patreon.com/wearenotgamedevs. Patrons receive episodes 2 days early and an extra podcast at the beginning, which you caught the tail end of our conversation at the beginning of this episode. That's patreon.com/wearenotgamedevs. If you liked our show, why not subscribe and give us all the stars on Apple Podcasts, Google Play Store, Spotify, YouTube, and more. If they ask for a review, instead of reviewing our show, become your inner game critic and review Life on Paws, the video game we just created. Thank you for joining us today. We'll be back next Friday with another new IP. Again, my name is Alex Gonzalez.
And I'm Jay Yee.
Thank you. And please remember that we are not game devs.
Is there like a
AGJE.
like a bell going on now? What does that sound?
My neighbor has wind chimes.
Oh, it sounds like a bell you hear on a boat, like a bing, bing.
In the middle of the desert, that'd be great. So I'm talking like this because the desert is a windy place naturally because there are no trees to stop the wind, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why would you get a wind chime when there's tons of wind all the time?
To make the
What's great
noise.
about a wind Huh?
To make the noise.
All the time?
That some people like the sound of wind chimes.
It's not my apartment, so I don't say anything, but I'm like, interesting choice.
Would you prefer the wind chimes or like those wooden clacky ones that's like clack, 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 clack?
Definitely the chimes. Definitely the chimes instead of clack, 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 clack. I'd be like, well.
But they're like musical clacks.
And no, wind chimes are way better. And honestly, you don't really realize it. It's one of those noises that's like in the background. So it goes off a lot, but you don't think about it.
Maybe they forgot they even bought a wind chime.